It isn't perfect, but the Xiaomi Mi 6 manages to bring together a ton of features we loved last year into one cohesive, affordable package that warrants your attention. Xiaomi made headlines early last year with its 2016 flagship, the Mi 5. Not only was the Mi 5 affordable, beautiful, and packed with top-tier features, it was also one of the first devices to sport Qualcomm's Snapdragon 820 processor. Unfortunately, the device never officially made its way to the United States, and even if you did manage to import one, it lacked the proper 4G LTE bands. Now Xiaomi is back with its 2017 flagship smartphone, the Mi 6. With the Xiaomi Mi 6, you get a phone with high-end specs, a unique design, a zoom lens, and a sub-$400 price tag. The problem is, like the Mi 5, this phone isn't coming to the West. Design. The ceramic shines beautifully and is complemented by small gold accents. The Mi 6 manages to stand out with its design. While it doesn't stray too far from past Xiaomi phones, we still applaud the company for trying to be unique. The Mi 6 variant in this review is also the ceramic edition, which makes it quite a bit heavier than the standard glass model. Also, the ceramic model comes with the highest configuration of specifications, more on that later. The ceramic shines beautifully and is complemented by small gold accents, 18K gold accents, to be exact. Yes, Xiaomi seems to spare no expense when it comes to the materials of this phone, but it almost makes you wonder how the retail price could be so low. Nevertheless, it feels incredibly premium and hefty, but can slip around in the hand a little too much. However, there is a case included that helps a bit with the handling. Below the display, you will find a set of capacitive back and recent apps keys, which flank the physical home button. The home button also doubles as a fingerprint sensor, and has proven to be fast and accurate in our experience. And, as an added bonus, the capacitive keys can also be customized in the settings menu. There's one more major design decision worth pointing out here, and that's the lack of a 3.5mm headphone jack. Though it is a controversial move, Xiaomi says removing it allowed them to include a bigger 3350 mAh battery. Display. Despite being a flagship device, the Mi 6 does fall behind the pack a bit with its 1080p display. Despite being a flagship device, the Mi 6 does fall behind the pack a bit with its 1080p display. This LCD isn't bad in any regard, though Quad HD is very much a standard this year in high-end devices. However, Xiaomi has done a great job at making the LCD panel extremely bright in daylight, and also impressively dark when the slider is cranked to 0. This level of darkness is something we'd normally expect from AMOLED displays, but somehow Xiaomi was able to make it work with the Mi 6's LCD panel. Overall, I didn't have any issues with the display, though sometimes I did have trouble finding the brightness slider in dark environments. Trust me, this display gets really dark when the slider is turned all the way down. Performance and hardware. You'll also find the latest and greatest specs inside the Mi 6. Aside from the Galaxy S8 and HTC U11, the Mi 6 is one of the first devices to sport the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor. It also comes with either 4 or 6 GB of RAM and up to 128 GB of onboard storage. As I alluded to earlier, the ceramic edition is considered the most premium of the bunch, as it comes with 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. However, call quality was adequate and was helped along by the dual speaker setup. In a configuration similar to last year's HTC 10, a bottom-mounted speaker is accompanied by a unit in the call speaker. Thus, the phone's audio has some good stereo sound, but unfortunately doesn't get all that loud. Things get better when connecting headphones, as a built-in EQ provides a nice amount of sound customization. However, you'll have to keep the headphone jack adapter handy. Software. Xiaomi is shipping the Mi 6 with its own custom version of Android, MIUI 8, atop Android 7.1.1 Nougat. And if you're at all familiar with Xiaomi devices, you probably already know that MIUI doesn't come with an app drawer, which means you'll need to rely on folders to help organize your home screens. This is par for the course for many other Chinese ROMs, but users in the West might have a hard time getting used to it. Even though we're using the latest version of MIUI on the Mi 6, the core experience hasn't changed much at all over the years. Camera. If you have been following the trend of this review, you may notice that the Xiaomi Mi 6 seems to take a lot of the best features from previous devices and puts them into one complete package. That's definitely true for the camera, which is a dual lens system that provides a 2x optical zoom aside the original wider angle. Zoom can be quite important to shutterbugs, and Xiaomi has done well to provide one for picture taking in particular. Zoom capabilities are unfortunately not available for video recording, which is a rather significant downside. Throughout the testing period, I have enjoyed using the Xiaomi Mi 6 for video recording. Optical image stabilization helps keep all footage from looking too jittery, and there was a good amount of detail in each shot. Even though exposure might jump around from time to time, there was little to complain about other than the omission of zoom when in movie mode. I was told that this misstep is not a problem with the hardware and could be opened up in the future via MIUI software update. I've really enjoyed using the Xiaomi Mi 6 for video recording. The camera software in the Mi 6 provides a few extra modes that shutterbugs will be particularly fond of, including a pro mode. And even as an automatic shooter, the Mi 6's camera is quick enough to take a good shot, even when shooting in HDR mode. HDR is a toggle rather than an automatic mode, and keeping it on will often boost up the shadows and bump up the saturation to a noticeable degree. Thanks for watching and see you next time.